your eyes face down in cold mud. The ground is shaking, not an earthquake. Artillery. You push yourself up and the world hits you all at once. Smoke, screaming, the crack of rifles firing from every direction. You are in the middle of a battlefield and you have absolutely no idea how you got here. You look down at yourself. Full kit, plate carrier, assault rifle across your chest, helmet with night vision mounted on top. Everything you had before is still on you. You pat your vest. Magazines, full, radio, dead, GPS, no signal. Whatever happened, you are completely cut off. A soldier sprints past you wearing a wool uniform. He stops and stares at your gear like you just landed from another planet. He shouts something in English. You catch one word, Germans. Then he keeps running. You crouch behind a destroyed wall and watch. The soldiers around you are using bolt-action rifles. Single shot, reload, single shot. The equipment is decades old. The tactics are slow and exposed. Men are dying for every 10 meters of ground. You realize exactly where you are. World War II, Western Front, somewhere in France. And you are the only person here with automatic fire, ceramic body armor, and a thermal scope that can see through smoke. You are completely overpowered and completely alone. A German patrol rounds the corner of a bombed building. 6 soldiers, bolt-action rifles. They spot 2 Allied soldiers pinned behind a burned truck. They move in slowly and confidently. They have no reason to rush. You move to a flanking position without thinking. Muscle memory. You set your rifle to semi-automatic. No need to waste rounds. The first shot drops the lead soldier before anyone hears the suppressed crack. You drop to a knee behind a collapsed wall. 3 enemies moving through the street below. 60 meters. You raise the rifle. The thermal scope cuts through the smoke instantly. 3 heat signatures glowing white against the cold gray world. They have no idea you are there. You control your breathing. The crosshair settles on the first target. You squeeze. 1 down, the other 2 freeze. Wrong move, never freeze. You squeeze again, 2 down. The third breaks left, sprinting for cover. You track him smoothly. No rush, no panic, just the crosshair following. You squeeze a third time, 3 down, total elapsed time, 8 seconds. You lower the rifle and scan the street. Nothing moves. You stand up slowly and move forward. No celebration, no hesitation, just the next objective. The 2 Allied soldiers behind the truck do not move for a long moment. Then one of them stands and stares at you. He has never seen a suppressed rifle. He has never seen body armor that looks like yours. He has never seen anyone move and engage the way you just did. He takes off his helmet and holds it against his chest like he just witnessed something religious. Word moves fast in a war zone. By nightfall, a sergeant is pulling you toward a command tent. Officers are studying your rifle without touching it. One of them reaches out and taps your plate carrier. It does not dent. He pulls his hand back. Nobody asks where you came from. This is war. Strange things happen. What they want to know is whether you can do that again. You can. They don't understand what you are yet, but they are starting to guess. You stop fighting like a soldier and start fighting like a tactician. The difference is everything. You watch how the enemy moves. They are disciplined but predictable. Set formations, fixed timetables. They take the same roads because those roads are on their maps. You have studied military history your entire career. You know exactly what decisions were made in this war and exactly why so many of them failed. You pull a lieutenant aside and tell him the patrol coming through the forest at 0400 will use the Eastern Trail. He does not believe you. You both wait. At 0352, you hear boots on leaves. He believes you now. You start running small squad operations. 4 men instead of 40. Move fast. Hit hard. Disappear before the enemy can organize a response. The casualties on your side drop. The confusion on their side climbs. You save a squad pinned in a collapsed farmhouse by approaching from a drainage ditch the enemy forgot to cover. You clear the building from the inside out in under 2 minutes. When you bring the 8 men out alive, the commanding officer grabs your shoulder and asks your name. You tell him. He writes it down. You are no longer just surviving. You are changing outcomes, small ones, but outcomes nonetheless. Then you start wondering what happens when you change too many. Word spreads the way it always does in war. Quietly first, then everywhere. Allied commanders 3 units over are requesting you by description because nobody knows your actual assignment. A general sends a driver to bring you to his headquarters. You go. He spreads a map on a table and points to an objective that 3 previous attempts failed to take. He does not ask for your opinion. He tells tells you it is yours. On the other side of the front, the enemy has noticed something is wrong. Patrols that should be returning are not. Positions that should be holding are falling. A report reaches their command describing a soldier who moves without sound, fires without muzzle flash, and cannot be stopped by standard rifle rounds. They respond the way any military does when they encounter something they do not understand. They send more. Snipers start appearing at longer ranges than before. You spot one at 800 meters because your thermal scope picks up his body heat through the morning fog. He never sees you, but there is another one, and then a coordinated ambush on a road you were supposed to travel. You changed your route an hour before. Instinct or history. Hard to tell the difference anymore. You are no longer a soldier moving through this war. You are a variable this war is trying to eliminate. The objective is a rail junction feeding supplies to an entire German army group. Taking it would slow their eastern push by weeks. Allied command wants it taken in 48 hours. They are giving you a squad of 11 men and whatever you can carry. You spend 6 hours studying every photograph, every report, every scrap of intelligence available. You identify 3 things the previous attempts missed: a blind spot in the Western Guard rotation, a drainage tunnel running under the northern wall, and the fact that the enemy commander inside rotates his reserve unit at 0330, leaving a 4-minute window where the junction's internal defense is at its thinnest. You brief your 11 men twice. They ask very few questions. They have seen enough to trust you without needing explanations. You move out at 0100, no talking, hand signals only. You reach the drainage tunnel at 0248. The water is freezing. Nobody makes a sound. You emerge inside the perimeter at 0311, right on schedule. At 0330, the reserve unit rotates. Your 11 men move through the 4-minute window like they have rehearsed it for months. By 0341, the junction is yours. 3 of your men are wounded. None are dead. Flares go up. German reinforcements arrive 12 minutes later to find the junction under Allied control and 11 men ready for them. The firefight lasts 40 minutes. You hold. When it is over, you sit against a stone wall while medics move through the junction. One of your men sits down next to you and says nothing for a long time. Then he says he has been in this war since the first year. He has never seen anything like what just happened. You look at the junction, then you look at your rifle, then you think about every decision you made over the last days and what those decisions might mean for everything that comes after. You won the battle, but history does not care about battles. History cares about what changes because of them. The war is still going, but it is not the same war it was before you arrived. The enemy has seen what a single soldier with the right equipment and the right knowledge can do. They are going to adapt. They are going to build responses to things that should not exist in 1944. And the Allied commanders who watched you work are going to expect more. More speed, more precision, more results with fewer men. You change the outcome of one battle. You may have just made the rest of the war longer. You sit in the mud, rifle across your knees, the same way you started, except now you know exactly how dangerous you are. Not because of the weapon in your hands, because of the knowledge in your head. And in this war, in this time, that knowledge does not belong here. The question was never whether you could survive World War II. The question was what World War II would look like when you were done with it.